Hey, everybody, it is Scott Steen with winnersandwhiners.com coming to you with the Tuesday edition of Today in Sports Betting. As always, I'm joined with my partner, and by my partner in crime here, it is the one, the only Scott Reichel. Scotty, it's time, man. It's conference tournaments. A couple of the big boys start up tomorrow. One big conference gets underway. Some of the mid-majors just keep grinding it, and this should be quite a fun week. I hope it's more fun than Monday was.
Well, my Monday was decent. I know I ended up winning the play today with Greensboro. Overall, though, really just a couple of surprises, mostly in the CAA. You're used to seeing Hofstra and Northeastern play in the finals every single year.
Right.
And Hofstra got upset against Elon, and then Northeastern decided, well, if I can't play against Hofstra, I probably don't want to play in the
Don't want to play at all.
So ended up losing to Drexel.
That Drexel team just couldn't miss there from three-point land in the last 10 minutes. Every time Northeastern would get it within a couple 3 points, they would just bury another three. So
is that the best mascot matchup of all time in a title game? You have the Phoenix versus the Dragons.
Yeah, that's a lot of fire.
Pretty good one. That's a pretty good one.
A lot of fire. So, all right, my friend. Well, we've got the ACC. Yeah, you know me, getting underway in this one. Let's got an afternooner. Scott, you excited about the little afternoon contest between Miami and Pittsburgh? I know we're not going to have a lot of time once this video goes up. So, real quick, you got any thoughts on that one?
If I had to look to anywhere, I'd probably lean Pittsburgh. But then again, Pittsburgh had a couple of its players opt out over the last couple of weeks, mostly Johnson and Tony, who are both pretty solid guards. So them being out's a big deal. You still have Champagny there, who has been, of course, a great player, averaging 18.4 points per game and 11.1 rebounds per game. So he's still a very solid player, but your number 2 and your number 3 scorer decided, hey, this team's terrible, let me leave. I don't exactly think that's a great buy-on time for Pittsburgh, but Miami is so bad. That's the thing about these tournaments, that they're starting.
Yeah.
Just because these big conferences are starting, if you're playing in the first game or the first day, that means you probably are not a team many people enjoyed betting on over the course of the season, and these teams are no different.
Congratulations, it's your 11-15 game or whatever the hell it is. So, yeah, it's, as far as this game goes, like I said, it's an afternoon start there at 2 p.m. Eastern time. I would highly recommend As the World Turns if you're going to watch anything. I got nothing on this.
I personally like the under if I had to give a play here. I ended up writing an article about this for winnersandwhiners.com. I actually am covering the ACC tournament, so if you want more in-depth breakdowns, you can check those out. But looking at this matchup here, total is at 136.5. They played once in the regular season. It was pretty early in the season, back in December. Game totaled 125. And now Pittsburgh, who scored 70 in that game, is missing 2 of its top 3 scorers. You're also in a neutral. It's an early start time. I'm expecting a bunch of bricks. Would you agree with that? Yeah,
that's solid logic. Whether it'll happen or not, I have no idea. But yeah, it's that's the thing about this team, they've lost 2 of their guards. They've covered twice since then and won outright against another dreadful team in Wake Forest. But yeah, if you got to play it,
I think the under is probably your best look.
Why not? I'm all right. I'll get behind that. Next up on the ACC card, a team that one of those teams Duke's probably not used to playing early in the tournament in their first game, as Duke goes up against Boston College. The Dukies throwing 12.5 to the Eagles. 152.5 is the total. Scott, is Duke 12.5 points better than anybody in the ACC right now?
Well, I think that you can make the argument probably not, especially since it played Boston College earlier in the season.
How'd that go?
Winning by 1 at home. Yeah. Having said all that, Boston College is easily the worst team in the conference. 2-11 in conference play, 4-15 overall. And this team is even worse than its record indicates, because Boston College had a decent amount of key contributors either have injuries or some type of COVID issues at some point in the season. Because this team, when I say that they're shorthanded, that is definitely putting it politely. This team is running through a bunch of potential either walk-ons or scrubs, because this team really can't field the full rotation of guys. So am I surprised that Duke's laying this many points? No, because A, it's a must-win game for Duke. We've talked about that angle ad nauseum over the course of the season, how meaningless
Oh,
it is.
no, not a must-win game for Duke.
Yeah, but I think we can agree that that's definitely the logic on why people are betting on Duke. It's also because of the fact Boston College is extremely shorthanded, and this team lost to Miami. Actually hung tough. I'll actually give Boston College some props for keeping that game close. But Boston College against good teams this season, I'm not saying Duke's a good team, but you go through the line of recent results here. Lost to Florida State by 29. Beat Notre Dame. Very impressive there. Lost to Syracuse by 8.
But covered.
Lost to NC State by 16. There's a couple of spots here where Boston College just is not a good basketball team. But do you think 12.5 is too many points? Because I think Duke in the middle of a 3-game losing streak isn't exactly a great spot. But Duke did play 3 either tournament teams or fringe tournament teams with Louisville, Georgia Tech, and North Carolina. I think they're probably 3 tournament teams. And now you have the easiest team in the entire conference to beat. I expect Duke to score a ton of points. If I had to play it, I'd take the over because the first meeting ended up having 160-plus points, and Boston College's defense is the opposite of good. So Duke should probably score at least 85 to 85 points in this game, so I got to go with the over.
All right, so the question is, if you put Duke on 85, does Boston College get to 72, 73? Can they put that many points on the board?
I don't. I think they'll get to 70, but it's just that's my thought for the game. I got like an 85 to 70 type of score. Just seems like a spot where Duke is going to win. Plus, I know that 12.5 is normally not an issue when it comes to late game fouling situations. These conference tournaments are crazy, man. You see some teams tackling people down 15 with 2.5 to go. So you might get some free throws there. I guess if I had to play a side, I would take Duke, but I like the over in this spot.
Okay, all right, very good. Yeah, I've got a premium on the total, and I'm like you. For me, it's lay it or pass. That's.
Do you think it's pretty funny that Duke's playing in the early afternoon game, and they have the middle afternoon game, and the late game is a very, very nice powerhouse matchup between Wake Forest and Notre Dame? You surprised Duke's not the late game?
Yeah, a little bit, a little bit for sure. But I think they have those times slotted. I think they have the times for those games pretty much already notched in there before they know the seeds.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know that that's a slight at Duke. It's weird for them to be playing on the first day of the ACC tournament for starters, and that's.
I'm just not used to seeing them play at 4:30 in the afternoon with a late game after. That's not something I see that often.
No, not at all. So yeah, that'll be fun to watch. See what Duke can do in a must-win situation. Mm-hmm. All right, so let's talk about that one. Hey, the late game there in the ACC, Wake Forest and Notre Dame. Notre Dame throwing 8 points to the Demon Deacs, and 141.5 is the total there. Scott, this is a frustrating Irish team, because they haven't been great this season, but just about the time you give up on them, they end up looking like a decent team. They had a nice win over there. Over Duke, had a nice win over the weekend against Florida State when they got off to a rousing start there in the first half, put up 47 points in the first stanza on their way to a 10-point victory as a 5.5-point dog. Can the Fighting Irish carry that magic over against this Demon Deacons team?
Well, let me ask you a question. Is it considered decent form if a team is 10-14 overall, 7-11 in conference play, but it is 5-5 in its last 10? Is that considered a good stretch? I don't even know.
It's certainly better than the stretch that Wake Forest has been on, as they've lost 7 straight and failed to cover 6 in a row. So they've been losing, and they've been losing with style. A couple of highlights there: 12-point loss to Georgia Tech, 13-point loss to Pittsburgh. That's a bad look. 38-point loss to Virginia Tech. That's not good. 21-point loss to Clemson.
How many points did they score in that game, by the way, against Clemson?
39, baby. 39 points in that game. And as I recall, it was 2 shitty. I mean, obviously it had to be 2 shitty halves, but I think like one was 19, the other was 20. I mean,
at least they're consistent.
Yeah, at least they're consistent. Yeah,
that was at home. They scored 39 points at home.
Yeah, that's people that wish they were still quarantined that were at that game, I guarantee you.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's just a They have just been brutalized over their last 6 games. I believe the closest they have been is 12 points, and that's the Georgia Tech.
Yep.
So I think this Notre Dame team, again, I think they have some talent, which is more than I'm going to say for Wake Forest. I've got to play the Irish here. Yourself?
I feel the same way. I'm looking at this matchup here, and there has been a decent amount of money towards the over. If you look at the actual total in this one, it's going from 141.5 to 143.5. I don't really get it. I know Notre Dame has been pretty good offensively this season, underratedly a top 20 offensive team according to KenPom. So Notre Dame has actually been a very good offensive team in terms of efficiency. But Wake Forest, we already went through the games, but I'll go through the totals or the team totals for those games.
No.
Scored 60 against Duke, 62 against NC State, 39 against Clemson, 46 against Virginia Tech, 57 against Pittsburgh, 63 against Georgia Tech.
That's the high water mark, by the way. That's 63 against Georgia Tech. That's the high water mark of those.
This team has not scored 64 or more points since February 13th.
Yeah,
I can't take an over with that team. I can't do it.
No, I agree. This team could go up there and just throw bricks at the backboard for 40 minutes. There's no question about it.
And Notre Dame's a good offensive team, but they don't play at a fast pace.
No, I mean, you've literally got a Wake Forest team that's going to struggle to put 60 on the board.
And you look at the matchup this season, they played once this season. They scored 58 points, ended up being 79 to 58. Of course, Notre Dame's very good at home, but Wake Forest scoring 58 is kind of par for the course. So if you're expecting something similar to that, then Notre Dame probably needs to score 84 points to get you.
Yeah, that's the thing. If they put up 60, Notre Dame's got to go for 84 to get you that number. That's 16 points over what the spread is. Even if you think that spread is low, there's a good chance they don't beat them by 24. I mean, it certainly wouldn't be out of character the way Wake Forest is playing, but I don't see the math there, buddy. I don't. I
don't get it either. But I know that for this matchup, I was thinking about doing something for a team total for Wake Forest for my play today, but there was some juice towards the team total on the under at minus 125, so I wasn't really interested in it. But
what was the number?
67.5.
I think I'd let the juice flow there, bud.
I was 66.5 on FanDuel at minus 106.
Sure. Yeah, sign me up.
I was thinking about it, but at the end of the day, I found something I liked a little bit more. But I can't take the over in this spot when Wake Forest can't score. And I agree with you. I think after Notre Dame beat them already this season, before Wake Forest completely imploded by 21, I think Notre Dame probably wins this game by double digits, and this game goes under. So I'm expecting a game, 75 to 59.
Yeah, I think that's about right. I think they can. Notre Dame covers this one quite easily.
Yeah. So.
All right. A lot of other games on the board there, Scott. Nothing. I had one play that I really liked, and it was more of a situational play out there in the Big West. Anything else grab you? I wanted to look at Iona. I can't get behind that team. They're just too inconsistent. I think they're better than Quinnipiac, but
I had money line on Iona the last time they played Quinnipiac, and they ended up losing.
They lose by
earlier
one,
this
right?
season when they did. So yeah. I don't want to touch that game.
Bryant's a team that's done well this season on occasion, but they have some serious letdowns. They're a 5.5-point dog to Mount St. Mary's. You and I talked about that. That could be a game Mount St. Mary's wins.
They're favored over Mount St. Mary's.
Did I say dog? Yeah, 5.5-point favorite. Sorry.
Yeah.
So, nothing. There's really, not a ton. How about Southern Miss and Rice? You interested in that one?
I wrote an article about it for winnersandwhiners.com. Both these teams are awful.
Awful. Just
Rice
awful.
Completely fell apart. Ended up playing its last game as a confidence booster against a non-D1 team. Won by 3.
Our Lady of the Lake, Scott. I saw that game.
Didn't they lose to Houston by 90 earlier this year?
I wouldn't. Is that the one they lost that massive game to Houston?
I think that's the one where that one Houston guy had a triple-double in a half.
Well, Our Lady of the Lakes, that's a team that, a lot of those teams in Texas have used as just kind of a whipping post.
Mm-hmm.
And to win by 3, I mean, those are games that they're winning by 40, 50 against Our Lady of the Lake. I don't know if the lady finally found Excalibur or what they did, but that's just awful. The best thing I can say about Rice, Scott, is it goes well with General Tso's chicken. That's it.
Well,
I got nothing.
Well, for this one, if I really had to play it, I would lay it. There has been money on Rice. It went from -3 to -4.5.
Yeah.
They played in the regular season twice. Rice beat them pretty handily both times. Just looking at the actual matchups here.
Yep.
Rice ended up winning by 26 and by 8.
Yep.
Of course, that was at home. This one's going to be at a neutral, but it's a neutral in Texas.
Frisco,
so there's less traveling for Rice in this spot. If I had to play it, I'm not taking Southern Miss.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'm with you. That's the favorite or nothing. But I just if you take Rice and lose, you're like, okay, who could have seen that coming?
Would it shock me if Southern Miss wins this game? No, because if you're talking about how conference formats have been crazy so far this season,
nuts.
Beating a team that barely beat a non-D1 team in its last game, I don't say it's writing on the wall because I do think Rice will cover, but it would not be that shocking if Southern Miss ends up winning this game by 2 points or something.
No.
I'm not interested anyway, but whatever.
All right, very good. Welcome to the We Hate Everything show here with Scott and Scott. And
that's the thing, though, is that just to quickly interject, I know that a lot of people are excited for conference tournaments. I am too, because I do love the chaos that it brings. People always underestimate how many matchups are just so painful to analyze from betting perspective in the earlier rounds of these conferences.
Yeah, give me one more day, please.
Mm-hmm.
You get a little deeper into these, into both the ACC and the regular tournaments. Then, of course, we've got Big 12 and a lot of things kicking off on Wednesday. So we'll see.
The nerve of these good teams to be good enough to get buys. The nerve.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. All right, guys. Well, if you're looking for information on these games or any others, there is just one place to go. And where is that place, Scott?
winnersandwiners.com.
That's right. winnersandwiners.com. Deep dives into every game every single day. Predictions on every game. That's right. And there's nothing more frustrating when you're getting information and you're reading and they break down the game and they don't give you a pick. They just kind of preview. They tell you all the stuff that you've got there in front of you anyway. So that's the nice thing about Winners and Winers is everybody, they give you a prediction, they give you a pick, and they rate it on the 5-star system. So yeah, make sure you stop by and check that out as well. If you haven't done so already, get subscribed to our YouTube channel. We hit 11,500 there yesterday, so we appreciate each and every one of you guys doing that for us. And if you haven't done it already, hey, join the coolest community on YouTube. I could be slightly biased, but I think that's true. So make sure you join up, give us the thumbs up for this video, et cetera, et cetera. And nothing but the best of luck to you guys. Hopefully you guys have picked out some winners here today. So, of course, hope every one of those tickets in your pocket turns into cash money back at the window. For myself, for Scott Reichel, for all of us over here at Winners and Winers. Guys, have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow on Today in Sports Betting.